Welcome, guys, to Clutch Attitude MMA. We are joined by the one and only MMA Toad, who's going to be collaborating with us today. We're going to be recapping UFC 327. We're going to go over the card. We're also going to talk a bunch of crap because, man, this card was amazing.
Fight me right here. Fight me right here. We can't do it like this.
Dude, MMA Toad, what is going on, man? How
Oh,
you doing
man.
today?
Thank you for having me, brother. No, you're right. That was a spectacular card. I don't know who said it wouldn't deliver on paper. I heard that take a couple of times. I don't know who said this card wasn't going to deliver. I'm like looking at all these bruisers and all these big boys, assuming minus the Reyes and Dominic fight, of course, that we're just going to get some spectacular moments, some finishes, some blood, and it delivered. Absolutely fucking delivered. Wonderful card. I'm a proud fan. Like this is just evolving into something that I want to be part of forever. So I love it.
Dude, yeah, but at the same time, they said that UFC Seattle was not gonna deliver. They said that UFC Apex card, the one previous to this one,
Yeah,
wasn't gonna
well,
deliver.
on paper, I'm going to admit that was one of the weakest Apex cards up to that point.
It was.
So when I fight,
the
it's not that there isn't certain fighters on that card or certain fights that I don't look forward to. I'm just trying to hold the UFC to some higher standards. So for sure, that was the one I pointed at, and I said, no, that is a little shit now. Also, the people paying $1,300, $1,400 to be at the Apex, want them to get maybe a little bit more star power than just, one ranked
100%.
fighter on the main. Like, come on.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you there. But brother, UFC 327 did deliver. And these are the type of cards that were, hey, Joshua Van is out. Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van, the title fight is canceled. Somehow Murzakanov and Paulo Costa is going to be the co-main event. At that time, what did you feel? All right, so whenever the news was broken, what were your thoughts about this card? And I want to get your thoughts about it beforehand. What was going through your mind when that happened?
So that bell got laid down, respectfully to my boy Poetan. Quick thing about me, guys, I'm a big card collector, sports memorabilia, etc. So it's a nice little throwback PSA 10 Poetan rookie. But I had to wear dad today. You know what I mean? As we talk about the light heavyweight division. Jiri, I was excited for it because I wanted that activity that Poetan had, that short notice stepping in anytime. Poetan, if you guys remember, after 300, he really wanted to go main event in Rio, and he would have actually broke UFC history for being the most back-to-back most active champion at that time.
He was on
just in the quickest turnaround fight, from gaining the title or having the title to the next fight. So anyways, he showed up, he held it down. It took a really awkward kind of grappler, fucking soy, Flintstone vitamin from Russia kind of guy to get a hold of Poetan and slow him down in a way and take away his weapons. But he came back in that rematch and cracked the shit out of him. And yeah, maybe Poetan was just too active, right? Maybe he needed more time to himself. I remember him interviewing, traveling the world, doing fucking reels and memes. Like Uncle Ankalaev is sitting there in battle mode out in some fucking mountain river. And Poetan is out here being a celebrity, being a star. And again, Jiri very much, in a lot of ways, mimicked how I saw Poetan holding down the division. And all week I did give the flowers to Ulberg, and our friends 10-7 were like, come on, you're disappointing me. And it's like, no, I have 100% respect for Carlos and could see him landing the counter shot. And I called it. It's going to be a left fucking hook in the first round or two. And if we see a third round, I expect Jiri by then is just that crazy cardio, relentless pressure that never fades. And Carlos would start to break, just like Kennedy had. And the moment live stream reacting to this fight, y'all, he's pointing down and he's fucking having conversations. And I'm like, dude, Carlos is connecting here. He's getting moments back into this fight. And I said, I swear to God, I'm going to go kill myself because Yuri's going to go out and just get knocked out doing this shit. And sure enough,
I saw it, man. I saw your reaction.
Fucking shit.
I saw your reaction and I saw your prediction as well. And you're totally right because you did say it. You said, hey, Jiri is going to either... And you called it 100%, man. I got to give it to you, Toad, because you called it. You said Jiri is that type of fighter that's going to want to fight with you. And I don't know how the heck those words came out of your mouth, but you said exactly what happened. You said exactly what happened in your prediction. he's gonna either walk out with the championship. This was your words. He said he was gonna walk out with the championship, or he's gonna be laid out.
On his, yeah, he'd be flat out on
He'd
his
be
back.
out on his back.
Yeah.
That's what you said. Now,
Yeah, no, he's the kind of guy that will go out, and we should have seen that in the fight prior with Walker and Reyes. There's times it doesn't happen like that, but when you got these kind of strikers and this kind of power, it's inevitable. Even someone as tough as Roundtree, you saw Jiri start to break down. So, and Poatan, right? So this is just this is it, right? So, anyways, that was kind of me hogging that initial reaction to that moment. But where were you, time and place, friends, yourself? Like, where were you watching this fight, and what were people doing between that, the Hokit fight? Like, holy shit, we were going crazy over here.
dude, all right, so I'm going to tell you what happened. So I got out of work at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. I went to my car, and I actually stayed there in my car for like half an hour just looking at everything, looking at my bets, making sure my prediction was up and all that stuff. And I was just thinking, and in my mind, I'm like, dude, Jiri's about to be the champion. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is gonna happen. And so anyways, I went home. My kids were out with my wife at a welcome party of her friends and whatever. So I cleaned up the house as fast as I could, and I just sat there, turned on the live companion, and put the first fight, right, the first or second fight, and I started watching Taco Padilla going at it and whatever. But
Yeah.
I didn't get any traction on the live, so I turned that off. And once I turned it off, okay, I'm good.
Was that you in chat that was like, yo, you were catching up right around the Taco fight on my stream?
No,
I was like, you need to go back and watch the Radke fight. That was pretty decent.
I didn't. So I didn't go to your live up until the actual fight, because
Okay,
a friend of mine, he's he's a streamer as well. We were, I just met the guy, and he was like, "Hey man, we'll collaborate one day." So I said, "You know what? Let me go into your life, and I want to check you out and stuff like that." So I checked him out, and I spent almost the whole time with him, jumping back and forth through streamers, and I went to yours, I went to his, I went to MMA Now 27, and kind of spent the time doing that, because I stopped my life and just decided just to focus on the fight and be on the lives. But dude, the whole card was amazing. Let's start off with the main event, of course. Jiri Prochaska against Carlos Ulberg. Like you mentioned, this division has needed a champ. Pereira delivered. He went on a crazy run, legendary run, one of the best runs in light heavyweight history. And like you said, he was on everybody's reels, everybody's Instagram, everything for that whole run. And then he loses the belt, but we knew somehow he was going to come back and regain it. He did. Then he vacates the title, moves into heavyweight, and we get this fight for the vacant light heavyweight champion of the UFC. Jiri Prochaska against Carlos Ulberg. Jiri Prochaska, of course, a fan favorite against Carlos Ulberg, who he's a kickboxer. We knew that he was on a run. He lost his first fight against Nchuku, I think it was. He lost his first fight against Nchuku, and then after that, he went on a 9-fight streak or something like that, a 7 or 8 fight streak. His previous fight, he knocked out Dominic Reyes, and he gets a title shot, right? He did not, in my opinion, yes, he was this was the fight to make, but this was the fight to make before somebody possibly fighting Pereira, right? That's what I was thinking back then. But anyways, we got this fight, Jiri Prochaska against Carlos Ulberg. They start the match, and Jiri Prochaska is getting, they're both landing low kicks. All of a sudden, Carlos Ulberg steps back and pulls what it seemed at that time. It looked like an Achilles tendon, but it was not. It was actually, it popped twice. So it was a torn ACL, possibly a torn MCL, maybe. I don't know. Not yet. No, nothing has come out.
Initially, I thought he was rolling his ankle as well.
Yeah. No, at that point, I thought it was the ankle or the Achilles. But then with them putting it back, they kept putting the images again and again. You can tell it was higher up in the knee. But anyways, man, his right leg was compromised, and Jiri Prochaska did what he's calling mercy, right?
Mercy.
Dude, the emotes, him pointing at the ground, let's stay here, let's fight. It's just like in his
He was
head.
being fucking stoic and a weeb, and all the tisms were unwinding, and he just he's
Dude, in
just
his
so
head, he
stuck
wanted
on
level
not like
playing
this.
ground.
He's stuck on how it happens, and he let his guard down. You simply put can't do that. You can get down on a knee and hold your brother after the fight. Like, I'm sorry it had to happen this way, and have a fucking Ilya Taporta moment or whatever. But like, son, you're in there against a dude who's still fucking peekaboo loading up that left, and he essentially dropped his right for no fucking reason. Like, it almost, yeah, I don't know. I know that Yuri can send it. I've never been on the fence that he can receive it. He could take a beating and get scrappy, but you got to measure strikers that depend on those one or singles, those big powerful hooks, those big
Check hook, man.
wind up shots versus guys that kind of break you down and mix in grappling and strike with you and kick at range with you. He's got the most dangerous hook right now because Poatan left, and that's where I always imagined this fight would have been Poatan and Ulberg, and that this would have been maybe an eliminator fight to solidify
Correct.
who gets to go for it.
Exactly.
And yeah, I do initially have myself going, well, Ulberg can capitalize on Yuri's biggest flaw, his defense, right? And so it did actually, a lot of cappers obviously landed that. I bet on both sides because you could get the plus 600 value for first round knockouts on the other side, plus 650. And then I had a spread going into round 2, round 3. And then I was one of the original cappers that had Yuri to choke Glover at 50-1.
No way.
And yeah, because I explained it would be like a club and sub, and they would be grinding each other out, and that it's always possible. You could have a fucking dumbass rear naked moment where I don't care who you are and what your alkaloids are. If you're concussed and beat and fucking bleeding and you're getting choked, exhausted on the ground, flat face, you're submitting, my guy.
Exactly. Yeah, we
And
saw it
so
with Anthony
at that
Hernandez.
rate, right? You got to think of it in 50 fights. Does this bet pay? Sure, right? So it wasn't the craziest bet, but sure, 50-1. It was cool. So I did actually put some action for rounds 3, 4, and 5 submission that were paying 1,000 to fucking 1 kind of shit, ridiculous.
Damn.
So, anyways, just some rants there. It wasn't
It's all good. No, I did hear.
wasn't the best of cards for me overall, just because we didn't get specific finishes to occur that we all just assumed would happen naturally. And that was a big leg for me and a lot of my big cash cows, but just minus some submissions. Main event end by knockout at -250 was the whale hit. So that's the big thing from last week, but it was a spectacular card. That's just a thing that makes it more fun, more degenerate than what we do, and breaking down and doing homework and figuring out this shit. So anyways.
Well, we knew that Carlos Ober was gonna look to pull Jiri so he can land that left hook, right? But we didn't expect that Jiri wanted level playing field right after that injury. And that's what surprised me because, come on, Jiri, you need to go for the belt. But anyways, yes, Jiri Prochaska loses this opportunity. And it's crazy, man, because I didn't cash out. I didn't cash on this particular main event. I didn't cash on this one. But we move on to the co-main event.
Did you
actually...
Real quickly on the main, what was I going to say? Sorry. It'll come back to me. Sorry.
You're good, bro.
I forget. Yeah.
Nah, going back to the main event, question that I have for you. Do you see Jiri getting an opportunity now that Carlos Ulberg...
Thank you. That's exactly it. It was do you see him getting another shot at this? And my honest opinion is, well, if Ulberg's out, then I think Jiri should fight Ankalaev for it. If that's the next vacant fight. So Ankalaev fights Jiri, and Ulberg fights the winner of that fight, assuming he's healed up and ready to go after that fight, right? So those are the
that's
next two
actually
fights I see, unless maybe something else can happen.
exactly. That's I mean, you don't have anybody else. You don't have anybody else in the light heavyweight
Everybody else
division.
certainly has to earn their stripes a little further. This is like a
Exactly.
really weird former champ cross. Those are two former champs going at it. I think that's
Exactly.
right. Ankalaev was rightfully so the person who should have been fighting a top contention fight for it next to see if he deserves it, the shot again. So
Yeah. Well, he's actually going to fight in July or August, one of those days
yeah,
he's going to fight.
yeah,
All
I
right.
would change that opponent out and say, all right, Ankalaev, shit's changed. You're gonna go fight Jiri.
Well, they haven't even said who the opponent is going to be. Probably Jamal Hill. That's who I think could be, but they haven't said anything.
I
But
don't know.
yeah,
They had
man, I
already fought
mean,
each other. I'd like to see, I guess, Reyes because he just beat Walker. I guess.
yeah, exactly.
No, that's probably
Carlos
it.
Ulberg did get a performance of the night. Rightfully so, man. Rightfully so. Coming back from that injury, landing that left hook on Jiri Prochaska. Rightfully so, he gets a performance of the night, and Jiri just shit the bed, man.
Does Jiri get
Fucking Jiri.
Autism of the Night award? Do we
He
pay
does.
him
He
for
gets
anything
it.
for that?
He gets it, man. He gets it. He gets it. But let's move on to
Fuck's
the
sakes, dude.
co-main.
Get
Another
fucked.
guy. Hey, another guy that was. I know, man. Your reaction was legendary, dude. But
Get
anyways,
fucked. That's all
another.
I gotta say, dude. Fuck around and find out.
Yes, another fight that another two guys that probably well actually in Azamat Murzakanov's run 16 and 0, he was probably after this fight he was probably going to get a number 1 contention, fight or
Yeah, he'd
whatever
be up
like
there
that.
for another fight.
Yeah,
Not the debuting 205er, but a top ranked guy.
exactly. He's not gonna get another debut at 205. He's not gonna get a Robert Whitaker. Actually, that fight would be nice to watch. Imam Murzakanov against Robert Whitaker. They're not big for the division. They also throw a lot of punches, and that'll be a fun matchup. But Paulo
Yep.
Costa hurt him at the body with them leg kicks early in the fight, and that wore him out. In my opinion, that was the best game plan. Not
Fucked
sure
up his
what kind of
arm.
game plan he had.
Fucked up
Yeah.
his arm trying to block those kicks to the
Oh
body.
yeah. Yeah. Eventually, third round comes in. That leg kick is no longer going to the body, but it lands upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect game plan, man. We
It's hard to
actually
lift
were
that
in,
arm when it's broke or
yeah.
however fucked up
It's
it
hard,
was.
man.
I never saw the official report, but yeah, he couldn't guard himself. He couldn't go top shelf.
But dude, the guy looks good at 205. I'm gonna tell you what, Paulo Costa looked good at 205.
Yeah, like Trump said, yeah, you're a very handsome man.
Handsome man.
You're beautiful. They call him beautiful. The Brazilian Greek god Paulo Costa and his juice. He's
That's crazy.
the Lord of Wine or whatever the fuck that dude is from Hades, quite literally.
Dude,
A shout out, great RPG game, Hades. All right, anyways, yeah, Paulo Costa showed up. I counted him out. This seemed like too big of a test for him at 205, and that he's losing not so much the size and ability to bully, but the power advantage he would have at 185 was getting equally matched and if not beaten in some cases at
exactly.
205, right? So it's not like Azamat some fucking slug per se. Like he's known to have fairly quick striking and pretty dangerous combinations. So that was the majority. That was like probably one of the biggest upsets next to Gastelum on the entire card, I would say. The Ulberg is not a huge upset because it's just being as autistic as Jiri himself. That was a pick'em fight, truthfully. Do you believe in the gas or do you believe in the break gas?
Correct, yeah.
Which one?
I mean, most of the card, and I'll be honest with you, most of the card was a pick'em.
Yeah, it's a very difficult card to obviously pick on as well. A lot of bets fell through for distance on some cases, but yeah, I can't believe Holland didn't get his submission. We'll get to that one here in a moment. But yeah, as far as Azamat, he's definitely a humbling fight. We'll see him in Abu Dhabi in front of His Majesty with a fucking trash can delivery picker upper taxi pizza man that he's just gonna maul the shit out of and get a W back and make all the robes in the crowd happy. But
Definitely.
Paulo Costa, we'll see what's next for him. I like this version of him, the confidence. It's hard to outdo and shine the aura of Hokit and how that all transpired, but I'd say Costa had one of the next biggest moments at UFC 327 and backed it up with the performance. So there was some big aura on this card, both dropped and gained. So nice performance for him.
Who would you match him up with now?
Walker.
Yeah, coming off a loss.
Coming off a loss, but a top-ranked loss, and fight really didn't ensue. Neither fighter took damage, so let's book Reyes right away as well. Not a fucking strike was thrown that did any damage or any intention to. I would like the Athletic Commission of Miami as well as Reyes and Walker to be investigated. Please and thank you. Possibly Jiri as well. Like, he's like, the prop says to stand here and strike me. Get up. He's like, you know what I mean? Like, Jiri was fucking paid too, as far as I know. So, anyways, yeah, great for Paula. Yeah, give him Walker, Reyes, or maybe Hill. Let's see him fight another top around the block kind of guy.
Dude, I mean,
Roundtree, for all I care. Just one of those top guys.
This card right here is missing something, though. Freaking performance of the night. They should have given him an extra performance of the night, because moving up to 205 and delivering the way he did,
yes,
to a 16-0.
He beat an NOV, an undefeated fucking 16-0 NOV. So that's he 100% should have, but there was just too much shit going on. And the thing that you got to know about Dana and Trump, as you saw, they just openly in the public create fights on the fly based on who Trump likes and not based on whose life-changing legacy, awesome moment, who's active in the roster and has a really nice fucking dangerous fight with somebody who also deserves that paycheck as well as viewership and cement and legacy for this card. No, Trump's, hey, I like that Dawkins kid, like Lewis. Can we throw Jorge Masvidal on the card? Like, what other crackheads I got hanging around this White House? I need to go fucking fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just fucking.
Dude, why are we getting even Bo Nickel at the White House card? Really?
Because UFC, that was UFC and Dana having the quarterback over for the steak dinner before the Super Bowl fight. God. You know what I mean? That's what that was shit was. That's why he was on the main card of UFC 300.
That's right, man.
Fuck you mean? Look who you put on the prelims. Former champs.
Exactly.
Garbrandt and Figgy having to open up the show versus Nickel. Like, what did Nickel do in comparison at that point in time? Nothing. So, anyways, I could grant.
Dude, that was an amazing fight by Paulo Costa. Yeah. Moving on to the heavyweight fight between Josh Hokit against Curtis Blaydes. Fight of the night, performance of the night by Josh Hokit. It went to a decision, but these numbers right here, I've never seen these numbers in a heavyweight bout ever. And I've gone back and watched some heavyweight fights. I mean, heavyweight was the division back then where you could see some highlight reels, right? But we haven't had that other than some Derek Lewis's fight, every now and then, Tom Aspinall when he had that run. Heavyweight needed something like this to get it, to get back on track. But still, what do you think about this fight? It was weird, man. So at first, it started off, they banged or whatever, the usual heavyweight. But it turned quickly in the second round, dude.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say about this fight. Like, Curtis is a volume. I'll stuff you, I'll stop you, and then I'll come back. And I'll wrestle you, I'll tire you, and then I'll break you on the ground kind of fighter. Hokit's, I'm going to hit the gas pedal, and I don't know what happens next because that's how I am where I am in my MMA career. I just hit the gas until the fight's over. And so you see him gas right away, and everyone that knows ball is sitting there like, yeah, that's why we like Blaydes this week. Let Hokit get stuff. Like, who's he to come charging in and have his way like he's had on the prelims of some Apex cards with Blaydes? This is a fucking catapult matchmaking ranking. He hasn't fought anything like it. And all week he's been playing into the media, which I take as historically like not always a good look. They're distracted. They're not truly focused in. They're not, I don't know. you know, there's some fighters that can do it, right? The Conor McGregors, the ones that can spit it and send it.
That's
This
true.
was just such a crazy test and such a huge shot up into the rankings where I could have seen this character potentially fucking losing all the
Correct.
stock, and right there with Covington right now, kind of cheesy ass, like the fuck you on about, you know, but he passed the test. He showed up. Both guys were having a drunken fucking fist combat session. It was beautiful. It was like Bo Raicho versus Bo Raicho. They were both fucking cracked. Blaydes had his broken orbital right there. You could see the damage on Blaydes right away, but he was gritting down. He was frustrated. He was fucking angry. And you just know that he really wanted to actually put Josh out. But apparently, Josh has this fucking crazy chin. As far as what I think about the performance, I love it. Stylistically, that was meant to have a beautiful scrap like that. Another
Yeah.
guy that kind of reminds me of is the Concrete, the Aspelad.
Steven Asplund.
Yeah, he also is like a big clubber, fucking huge volume, huge gas tank, stuff you, stop you, box you, break you down, kind of just go for it. That's another guy that Josh could fight, Blaydes could fight, and have another fight ensue just like this one, in my opinion, because they're just tough enough to be able to absorb a lot of those moments and not just fall down and get put out.
Exactly.
But I'm watching that fight. Curtis is stiff with a lot of his connections. He has having huge, I mean, he has huge arms anyways. He's just having full extension snap on these jabs, and Josh is just fucking eating them while getting wobbled and coming back and delivering his own. I think if Josh could show any damage at all on his face, the judges might have even had maybe a split decision. But because Josh is just apparently also Wolverine, he got it done. He
Got
did
it
great
done,
too.
man.
So great
That
fight.
was a badass
Great.
fight,
That's
man.
the best heavyweight fight in UFC history by far. That was an incredible, fucking bloody, gory, but also because of the story built into it,
The
it kind of gets
story
that.
means everything in this
Yeah,
fight, man. It means everything. I mean, you
for
got a
sure.
guy that's unranked, came out the Dana White Contender Series,
The cringiest media.
delivered a few of these personas, build up the
Mama,
fight pretty good.
mama.
Like, hey, but it was crazy, man. It was crazy. I was shaking. I was literally shaking through this whole fight. I had Curtis Blaydes winning in my predictions because I didn't think and that was kind of like my take on this fight was Curtis Blaydes has fought, you know, the current best of the best in the heavyweight division, right? The Tom Aspinall, the Volkov, the Francis Ngannou, all this. But dude, Josh Hokit, he was faster than Blaydes. He had a better endurance than Blaydes. Now we see it that he was throwing with more damage. You know, he won the damage.
Yeah,
As far as damage goes, when you saw Blaydes, man, getting all those, you know, punches and he broke his orbital bone. He was bleeding from the first round on. But dude, we got to give it to Blaydes as well. He withstand all that, and a lot of people are saying it was because of ego. But right now, how many leg kicks were thrown in this fight? Probably
a decent bit.
we're talking about six. Dude, Toad, can you believe Josh Hokit did not land one leg kick?
Yeah, no, it was Blaydes for sure. Like just resetting with him early in the fight.
164 significant strikes landed in the head from Josh Hokit. 93% of his strikes were landed in the face.
So my biggest thing that I just kind of want to leave this fight like as a takeaway is um your Derek Lewis's, your fucking Tom Aspinalls, your Sergeys, those guys will absolutely dink you and fucking sink these guys all day. You know, Francis Ngannou was one of those, obviously, to Blaydes also. They're not going to sit there and have this jab exchange and these body combinations and low kicks, and they're not going to make a game out of it. They're going to headhunt you. They're eventually going to connect. It's inevitable,
That's true.
and the fight's over. And so both of these guys will lose to those guys I just mentioned because of those reasons. And so
That is true.
Josh will be a fun one, But for instance, let's just say we were to not pick Derek Lewis, right? And say, all right, Josh, who's the rightful opponent for you at the White House card? I would say it would have been either Sergey or Volkov. Fuck on. Let him be an eye poke loser ass bitch who's had nothing but top title fights and top moments. Like, no, I would have seen Josh fight Volkov. He got screwed by Gon, and Dana said he'd make it up to him and never did. We all know that he beat Gon's ass 2-3.
He did. I don't know how. Actually, Dana White said it, right?
He said it after the fight. He's like, listen, I can't. We'll make it up to you. That's all I got to say. Like, they must have done it with money, because they certainly haven't done it with fights.
Exactly, he hasn't. He hasn't
fucking
come
bullshit.
With the guy. He gave him Waldo Cortez right now.
Yeah, well, he was robbed. He technically beat Gon and deserved that rematch with Tom, but never got it. So, anyways.
Well, let's go over this Dominic Reyes, Johnny Walker fight, which was the stinker of the card. It was a chess match. Only 34 strikes landed by Dominic Reyes, 42 by Johnny Walker. And it was a story of Johnny Walker.
Sorry, man.
Basically.
Sorry, I'm getting like sleepy out of fucking nowhere.
You're good, dude.
I feel like I was just here with you, and then like we were talking about UFC fights, and then my memory just blanked. Like, I don't know, like.
You're good.
What's this fight? That was a fight? I didn't see a fight. Dominic Reyes and Walker, did you?
I did not see it, man, at all.
Where? Which version of Paramount are you paying for? Did you get to see a fight I didn't get to see? Because I swear to God, I did not see Reyes fight Walker.
This was part of the commercials. I'm sorry. Well,
yeah, I thought that was like an AI fucking beer ad, and it just never dropped Bud Light. Like, it just fucking glitched and was slow and blacked out like it did on Oliveira and Max for like a whole fucking round and a half. Like, that was great. Anyways, yeah, they didn't fight each other. That was the point I'm making. I don't know what to say. Fuck them both, but Reyes won. Congrats to them and their babies and all that shit too. I'm not a hater of them. I'm a hater of that fight, and they both fucking shouldn't expect anything less from us. Neither guy wanted to take a risk to have a moment, and that's that weight class in a nutshell.
Because of all the media coverage saying that these guys were chinny, was it all that? Because
I mean, if they're just having those fears and thoughts for the first time this far, I'm damn surprised they've done everything they have and had fought the way they had all the way up to this moment in their careers. There's something about it where it doesn't matter what the media is saying. Like, when
you go fight,
you put on your fight, your pace, your tempo, your infliction, and neither guy felt like they wanted to lock in and hit the buttons on the controller. They were just on the analog sticks, kind of dancing around, and I don't give a fuck. Like, you want money and shit, or you want that opportunity. Both guy knows if it drags out like that, Dana's not impressed, we're not impressed, and you're not even risking a bonus that could change your family's life. Like, I don't know. Both guys have been there and could have risked it. It's not like they were immune and having to risk this terrible fucking outcome for the first time. We're not protecting an O. We're not, you know what I mean? This was a fight. You're not even top title contention. There's the few other fighters we just named earlier that rightfully so are still in that top conversation for those title contention opportunities, in my opinion, than just Reyes alone. But anyways,
this was an opportunity for
neither guy wanted to make the most of it, and so
no, but still, it was an opportunity for both fighters. I mean, if you had a fight in this card that was probably one of the ones that you can say, man, there's going to be a performance bonus in this fight, it was this one.
Mm-hmm.
It was this fight right here, because both of them, one of them was going to go down, and they lost that opportunity. I mean, it's their loss, really. But one fight that was pretty cool, pretty good scrap, one side at least. Cub Swanson gets his swan song, how they say it, in the first round. With 1 minute left, knocks out Nate Landwehr.
Literally dream retirement fight.
G, man. Hands down, giving him hooks. That was a pretty good last fight for Cub.
I think a lot of us like Nate Landwehr. I'm a big Nate fan.
I'm a Nate Landwehr fan too. I picked him.
There's no disrespect there, and it was going to be kind of a bittersweet moment either way, but obviously with it being Cubs last, you had a lot of the community on that side, due to the emotional fight. But, I'm also not a guy who likes taking the checked out fighter who's taking the retirement fight, because there's something that's just not the same about what if I lose, you know what I mean? People are stressed out about rankings and pay and will I stay in the promotion and those kind of conversations versus just, well, how did I go down, So anyways, I normally don't pick, but because Nate shots absorbed, not the best, and
Correct.
very fucking dangerous and technical. It was an easy matchup in my opinion that kind of secured what Cub would do in that moment. And I think even the UFC knew it. So I'd like to see Nate heal, recover, make sure he's healthy, and let's get another guy who kind of a little bit more sloppy like Nate himself and let two fucking car crashes collide and have a moment, you know what I mean? But when you get these technical guys like Cub, they're just gonna piece up Nate all day. Sadly, he's gotta maybe lean on his wrestling a bit more, his grappling, because he's a bit of a vice when he gets you on the ground. It's a good opportunity to hunt you down and club you for that submission and have some moments there. But nah, anytime he's on the feet, this part right here totally can cash us. Cub did it. Beautiful send off for him. I'm happy. Beautiful family. It was a beautiful moment. Also, about retirement fights, real quick. You guys are gonna suck Chiesa's dick, but what about Nico Price, who also retired in that same fight, who was sitting off to the side, that didn't even get a quick hey guys, it's been awesome, thank you very much, thanks for the years. I think even he knew that he maybe wasn't expecting one of these videos, but at the very least, not the recognition and his own moment to say, hey, it's been awesome, for a guy that you literally is one of your biggest stunt double dummies that you set up to get knocked out in front of these other fighters.
Probably the biggest one lately.
Yeah, I mean, he had a big family and had to stay active and has a big heart and doesn't, this is what he loves to do. And he also had some cool finishes and upsets too, like he had some nice submissions as well. Like, he just very battle ridden, been clipped a few times too many, and we knew that was going to happen. So it's like they're doing these kind of safe retirement fights for these guys. They have high respect. So you saw 2 retirement fights back to back in matchups that, well, I think we all knew personally. But
yeah, the next one, they're not gonna get me on the next one, dude. I'll be honest with you, Toad. They're not gonna get me on the next one. Whenever another retirement fight comes along, I'm betting the guy that's about to retire 100% of the time, because it's crazy. I mean, yeah, and to your point, Nico Price, at least, man, give him a 30 seconds to a minute on the mic. Hey guys, it's been awesome. Thank you so much. Whatever it was. But then you gotta, and I'm not a Chiesa fan or anything. You got Chiesa going the next day on a podcast or on Monday after the fight saying, "No, no, it was my night." Dude, we know it was your retirement fight, but you must have known that it was Nico Price's night as well.
It's always your opponent's night as much as your own. It takes 2 to tango, baby. Exactly. Win or lose, it's their night too. You share that moment with them.
Yeah, but it's selective, man. It's selective. The guys that are, but yeah, I mean, when you saw Nico Price on a card, you know it was going to be a fun matchup.
Yeah, you knew someone was going to get finished with how Chiesa's fight in by submission was live, on both sides too. Like, honestly, like,
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And on this one right here too, the KO was live, in my opinion, because if Cub Swanson would have gotten to the 3rd round, I think Nate had a chance.
Yeah, this one, just to not even go the judges, was like plus 100. So the fight by knockout, I saw it like plus 170. But they each had good knockout props in their own rights if you split bet. Yeah, no, we knew it was going to be an early round 1, round 2 knockout. So there you go.
All
Great
right,
performance. Happy for him.
Patricio
I miss you, Cub. Cub's going to be a fucking dope coach, by the way. I'm looking forward to seeing Cub in the corner, some killers.
Yeah, he's got 2 featherweights that are right now good prospects. He's got Danny Silva and Lehian Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
They are pretty good, dude.
Yes, they are. They're great fighters.
Good. People are saying they can't even pick a side, but Danny Silva's Danny Silva's good. Lehan Douglas, reigning hooks. He's pretty good as well.
Guys
But
that
anyways,
fucking
going
send it,
back to
they're
the
about it.
featherweight division, we got Patricio Pitbull against Aaron Pico. And a matchup that was supposed to, people are saying, supposed to have had happened in Bellator. Um, don't know what happened here, but Patricio Pitbull showed his age.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I don't quite remember where Pico was around the time of the rankings. I just know he was injured, right? So he had been away for a little bit. Pitbull obviously really active, but he was pushing to get into UFC. He could have stayed around and had that fight, but no, he was pushing to get into UFC. I'm happy he did. It's cool to see him here finally. It's just we aren't excited as if we had this years and years ago when he was like prime Pitbull fighting Volkanovski, who's at the time undefeated, not undefeated, but obviously like reigning featherweight champ, going through the entire division, opponent after opponent. Breaking news: Pitbull joins UFC. Will be fighting Volkanovski on another active card where Volk has a 1 month turnaround march down the fucking octagon, being just active Volk, So was expecting it, never got it. When he came the time he did, I said, who gives a fuck? I don't mind watching him. But yeah, I'm not expecting him to touch the strap here. He'll be fighting guys coming into the top rankings until he's pushed out himself, right? So
Yeah, I mean, it would have been different if he had won that first fight. We probably would have hadn't gotten that fight.
maybe, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if he would have won against
Yeah, I
Jesse.
doubt Diego would have had two in a row versus like, Pitbull, he came in and had a great top level win,
Yeah, and Aaron Pico as well. He would have if he would have won against Laron Murphy. It was probably gonna
Yeah.
be him.
And then we would have had Pico and Mobzar, which I think would have been a fucking great fight, actually.
I mean, wasn't that the actual fight that was scheduled? Aaron Pico against Mofsar, and Mofsar pulled out.
I don't
Then we
recall.
got
I
Laron Murphy.
typically don't pay attention to Mobzar fights unless it's the week of and he's gotten that far.
Yeah, I know.
Because of how long it is in between. Is he healthy? Did USADA catch him when he was eating Flintstone vitamins? Like, what's going on? So
He got on that schedule.
So I don't give a fuck.
Dude, yeah. But anyways, fun matchup right here. Aaron Pico looked like, he was gonna knock out Patricio Pitbull and
he got a fucking rugrat head, don't he? Pitbull.
Yeah, he does.
He can eat them.
Yeah, he can.
He can eat them like some grilled cheese on a midnight in front of the toad. Flipping them. Anyways, yeah, Pico, wide looping, powerful, generated power with his body, good footwork. What did you think of this fight?
Man, I liked it. I liked Aaron Pico's performance. Got great boxing, man. Showed a lot of his tools. He showed a lot of his tools, man. But he did get stunned by a few punches in the
right
first
out the
round.
gate. Right out
Right
the
off
fucking gate.
Man, yeah. And then he got kind of like, oh shit,
Yeah, he's I felt like that punch also happened because of how kind of tight and nervous he was a bit.
Yeah.
Until he finally got to like flow.
Exactly.
He didn't,
but you can tell that's the type of fighter he is. You can tell that's the type of fighter he is. He's got jitters in the first round then, and that's exactly what happened in the Murphy fight, And
it's not like he's technically losing these rounds either. He's still doing good, but he's not as committed. He's still kind of reading, making adjustments, switching stances, mixing it, getting different looks. Like, he's actually very unpredictable of like, is he going to commit with the grappling, the clinch, the knees, the powerful entry shots. Again, he just generates a really fast hook that I think catches some of these guys again. Pitbull, regret head. Otherwise, I think we saw Pico hit a little 25K knockout bonus, and yeah, would have been great for him.
I know, right? But anyways, yeah, Aaron Pico. Who would you match him up with next? Because that's a tough division right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd kind of want to put the rankings in front of me and think about it a little more. I'd want another scrapper on the feet like Emmett, like Ige, someone who's going to brawl with him and box with him, grapple with him. I mean, he beat Pitbull. That's great. But to me, that's not a really high ceiling win
at all.
So I want to see him fight a guy who's kind of working down from that ceiling through a couple losses. So again, that's why I came up with Emmett, came up with
Me too. I said Emmett from the
Ige,
start.
I think either of those opponents would be great. Ige and Pitbull could be like the Spider-Man thing where they're both pointing at each other. That'd be a fun matchup against.
Yeah, even him and Garcia.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't even do Garcia because I actually hold Garcia as worthy of a fight and
Of course.
up in rankings more. But yeah,
I mean, Garcia's scheduled for the
I want
White
to see
House.
Garcia and Lopez. Obviously, that's going to be a fucking amazing fight. So
I think you're right. I mean, Emmett. That's probably the one right there. Him and Emmett, and
yeah,
then
Pitbull and Emmett. Let them be scrappy ass boxers and throw big bomb overhands at each other.
exactly.
I bet you Emmett knocks him fucking out.
Hey, he's gonna swing for it though. He's gonna swing
That's my
for it. He's
boy,
gonna
by
go
the
for
way.
it.
Shout out to Josh Emmett and his whole trading card group knockout.
There you go. All right, then we got the welterweight division. Kevin Holland against Randy Brown. That went to a decision. They both got gassed pretty early. Uh, Kevin Holland had him in one of those dark chokes. How did
Yeah,
he escape? That's probably one of the biggest topics this weekend. How did Randy Brown escape the dark choke?
as someone who had a plus 500 prop for Kevin Holland's submission, I very
Me
much was
too.
wondering the same very much goddamn thing.
I
As
had him
Brown
stub
as
in
Brown
round
as a
two.
pick because of how Kevin's been showing up, and this one I wasn't gonna just pick Kevin just because for once and actually fade him, hoping that he would have to show up. And I figured from a striking standpoint it would be a little bit more competitive. Like Brown would cut corners and angle with Holland where it would force a trade. And it felt like he was very comfortable with that idea early and was executing some big moments, was ripping powerful shots, fast as fuck. Like you just knew if that shit connected, Holland was going to go flat. Anyone would really at that weight. But Holland, way more technical with the footwork, strategy with the leg kicks.
Yep.
And it's true. Brown puts that foot right out there. I also was going back watching tape, and I was even seeing how Brian Battle was able to just kind of bully him and constantly tire him in reverse position, and they would just exchange like standing control time, but not a lot of threat. Whereas the Holland we know is working huge fucking athletic knees, rips to the elbow, using little tomahawk strikes. Like he's all about it, and yeah, Holland. Happy Holland showing up, got to be Big Mouth. I like it when I get to see Big Mouth fight and not just Trailblazer because Big Mouth is a lot more.
Takes more chances.
Yeah, he takes way more chances, but it's really fucking with his opponents. Like when he's having these conversations, people really do kind of sit around and listen in, and they're not like immediately trying to snap through his words and give him a reason to run away. Like he's finishing sentences cleanly without being punched. Just, you know what I mean? Fighters are truly like being like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it seems like maybe people got to train for that. You know what I mean? To a degree, because they always seem truly distracted by what Kevin's saying. And any shot at a game strategy just seems to be shit when Kevin says his best self. Anyways, Brown, kind of a disappointment there. I knew he had more opportunities early than what he allowed. He didn't make any adjustments when those leg kicks started
He
coming
did
in.
not.
So I knew Kevin looked better and better as the fight ensued. So happy to see him back. I like Holland, but yeah, shout out to Brown too.
Yeah, shout out to Brown. I mean, but yeah, that lead leg got punished pretty early.
Yeah,
No adjustment whatsoever, and at the end, he just wanted to. He just felt you just felt like the guy wasn't prepared for the later rounds. I mean, he had Phil Crow in his camp. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I think regardless of his training, he was never the same fighter after that submission. He is having moments in the fight prior to Kevin having more. But yeah, once that submission attempt came through, he had plenty of opportunities to break away from Kevin in that third round, reset the fight, try to
Yeah,
have a big moment because he knew he was going to lose the fight otherwise. He held on
exactly.
to the
Go for
waist
it.
of Kevin and hugged on and grappled on and held on. And he had no intentions of wanting to reset and be at range. He was hurt. He was fucked up. He was tired. He was
He
just
was.
wrestling on to Kevin, praying to life that he got to go to the scorecard and not get humiliated. So
He gave up. The
He
guy
gave up.
gave up, man.
Kevin broke him.
All right, then.
Meanwhile, Delitse's one shot to Kevin's ribs will make him quit immediately, instantly. But,
I know, right?
anyways.
Hey, one fight that we did not see the outcome happening, Mateo's Gamrot with a sub.
Yeah.
Not a split. A sub against Esteban Ribovics.
So
who
I
landed
actually
only 16 strikes.
Yeah, I bet that I bet the submission on this one.
Nice.
It was plus 750. I should admit too, the last few fights we didn't really cover it quite yet. The Holland and Brown fight not to end by finish. That was a big upset. I like the plus 200 prop fight to end by knockout for either side, and then I split Holland with submission. So that was live on both sides, obviously. But
It was.
I knew if the fight went to the ground that Kevin's far more dangerous there, and he normally gets that choke. So anyways, this one, I took that one. I took Tatiana as well. So we had our submission bets pretty much all locked in, minus I didn't bet Luque this week, and Holland barely missed. So I was happy to see Gamrot do it with a finish and not a drag out fucking Gamrot, the gamer, because he just can really hump and raw dog these guys, not throw any shots, no punches, no elbows. And it's just like, that's an adjustment you have to fucking make, or you're not going to get rankings, and UFC is going to continue to do what they're doing now. So he got the finish. It was needed for him. I took Esteban. I figured we'd see a Terrence McKinney moment where Esteban's just on his feet, catches gamer. We know he gets hurt quite easily at range by these power strikers that send it. And Esteban never got to incorporate any of that. It doesn't look like he was ready for the level at what Gamrot, brings it. I don't think it's not that he wasn't trying to train and prepare. It's just Gamrot is probably one of the best vices at that weight class. It just normally, if you can survive it, he gasses, and then you come back and knock his shit out.
Exactly.
Or win the fight back. So yeah.
That seemed like the prediction right there.
Yeah, that's what I think a lot of us had. How about you? Did you have Gamrot?
I did. I did not have a sub on this one. I did have Gamrot on it, but I did not have a submission. I thought it was gonna go the distance.
Yeah.
Like you said, and I
missed
on this one. I did put the sub round 2, which was live right there for Holland, but not the sub round 2 or actually sub for Gamrot. I thought it was gonna go the distance. I did have the distance, plus I had Esteban Ribovics by knockout. Those two.
Good shit.
And then on the Holland fight, I had Randy Brown by decision, which was a mistake, and I had Holland by sub and Holland by KO. On the Patricio Pitbull Aaron Pico, I had Aaron Pico money line, and I had Patricio Pitbull knockout. Those are the two I had. So I did win on the Aaron Pico decision.
I had something small on Pitbull when I had him at plus 250 earlier on the line before it moved. But then I had Pico money line in a parlay that ended up not really doing anything. But yeah, it was a fight I wasn't really invested in. I didn't really care for it. I was looking at the finished fights, the big boys that we were expecting to knock the fucking shit out of each other.
Dude, now I did have most of my money came on this fight right here.
Yeah. You take the sub at plus 500 or what?
I did.
Yeah.
I
nice.
took the sub
and the TKO.
Took the takedowns.
Did you sprinkle on the TKO? The plus 1600?
No, I didn't.
I put just a little sprinkle on that 1600 because I figured it could come via ground and pound with elbows and hammer fist, crucifix, something like that. Just she's good on the ground.
Sub, the takedowns, and I had under fight not to go to distance. That's what I had on this one.
Nice.
I made $300 on this fight right here.
Good shit.
$300, which was pretty good for Tatiana Suarez. I mean, everything was telling me go decision, but I said, you know what? Well, actually, I faded it with a KO with Lupi. I actually did. Sorry, I did. I did have Lupi Godinez KO on this one. I sprinkled it. That's right.
Yeah. Nope. I sprinkled the submission by Tatiana, and I took her by sub. I had her in a couple parlay money line as well. That also had like Radke parlay money line and a couple other good looks, but We just didn't get some finishes we really needed. So yeah.
So I had, like I said, I had the sub, and I had the sub, I had the fight to go the distance, the takedowns, and I had a little parlay sub Tatiana Suarez, and it was fight to go the distance with Pico Pitbull. That one cashed as well, pretty good.
Very
It was
good.
just a sprinkle.
Yep.
But yeah, most of my money came right here, man, with Tatiana Suarez, which was crazy to think about it, but it did. And it was early. I like cashing in early because I make
Yeah.
mistakes later down the card after.
No, it was a sad week for me. I had 3 weeks back to back where I'd done plus 2,000 props. The Grosso card, I had a 5-leg with her winning by submission as the only leg that missed. That would have paid 117 to 1 odds.
My other one
So that was
actually paid.
11,700 prop, but we took the knockout there at plus 2,200, right? So I'd been doing between 3 legs, 5 legs, a lot of 5 and 6 legs the last like 3 weeks. We had like a huge surge this year, and this was sadly the card that broke it, which again, we just had the Walker fight with Reyes really butcher a lot of to be expected legs and some of these like, heavier chalked parlays that should hit pretty safely, although, you're still getting a nice play.
I did get Costa plus 1,300 KO3.
Nice. Good shit. That was a good one. That fight was plus 100 to end by knockout, which I liked in a couple parlay plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The KO round 3 plus 1,300. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, no,
Shout
that's
out
sharp.
to Fight Night Picks who actually gave me that pick.
Nice.
All right, then the screw up and there's always a screw up in the cards like this, right?
Dude, so so I actually, this one pissed me off. Taco's my boy first and foremost, really cool dude. Chat with him a few times, standout guy. Love that he's about it, but a family dude too. He's pretty chilling, down to earth guy, sincerely. And he shows up, does his thing, puts on the pressure, doesn't stop, has the overall striking. I know he's taking in the damage, sure. But you know what I mean? I'd say Medeiros, outside of having the point taken, was just missing some of that matching activity where Chris was on the forward foot the entire fight, using that raised knee Muay fucking knee, just kind of working through the void and opening up and having many moments. So, you know what I mean? Like this fight, I think it was pretty safe to say Chris won it. He was like a -4 or 500 prop as the shit went to the scorecards. The bookies had it out that Chris was the winner, and then Medeiros just somehow overturns it a fight later. So the Esteban fight with Gamrot had just ended, and I look, and my slip that had shown it was cashed out for Taco got voided, and then they took the money out of my account in FanDuel.
No way.
And then all my parlays dropped that leg that had Taco. So yeah, I was pretty fucking livid. So yeah, that's some bullshit. I think the card needs to be investigated, from some of the judges scoring to, shit like that with the bookies as well. Maybe even Reyes and Walker, not even fucking joking. There's just some weird things that happened on the card that I'm not a fan of, but at least Taco had his moment on the microphone. He got to send some love to his uncle, and it was a good moment for him nonetheless. He earned it at least, so that's the way I see it.
He should get the win money too.
Yes.
He should get the win money.
I don't know. I don't know how that worked out, but I'd assume if they didn't give him the win money, they're fucked.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it came down, if you saw the judges' scorecards, it came down to that first round. And also the same round that Medeiros got the point taken away. I can see that being a 9-9, whatever, right? But that first round, what did you see by Medeiros? That elbow to the forehead? That was the only.
It was a nice elbow that landed towards the end of the round that opened up Chris, and you could look at that and be like, yeah, well, Medeiros inflicted more damage this round, therefore he won the round. Not when the majority of the round was Taco, significantly more volume, having definitely the better moments. It was that Medeiros came back late in the round, had his moment, and that was the most recent thing. So in like judge MMA scoring, that's like pride fighting. It doesn't matter how you looked at the beginning of this round. How do you finish the fight? How do you finish the round? If you're winning at the end of the round, you win. And so that was like pride scoring, but that wasn't anything to do with the current UFC standards of scoring. I don't know if the judges are doing this without stats in front of them. Like, do they have a score sheet that shows them strikes landed and attempts?
They don't.
Or, you know, are they getting what anything beyond their own imperative fucking old ass vision? I don't know who these judges are, but they do a terrible fucking job. A majority of the places you go. And there's too many like fight analysts and fans and people that are way more in tune or way more honed in, way more focused on literally how scoring criteria should probably look, that somehow these people have a job. And I just need to know and understand how and why. I don't need a boxing, official or judge. I need someone who understands MMA, and that control time alone isn't always a good thing, and understand like those deep ins and outs of the fight game. And so we get terrible scoring all the time that makes fights draws or robberies. You know what I mean? I'd say in the last few years, we've witnessed a fuck ton of bullshit.
Many.
And Dan always just, well, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You know, he always shrugs his shoulders like there's nothing that can be done. According to fucking who? Because there's standards that these committees have to uphold. And yeah, people are fucking up. It should be costing jobs at some point, but the UFC just kind of rides with it, and the outcome of this shit impacts the fighters. And so I get upset and passionate on the subject because these guys fucking deserved it. Like, what do you fucking mean? I hope they get their money either way.
I hope so too, man. And I'll be honest with you, round 1, 40 significant strikes, 2, a whopping 27 strikes landed by Medeiros. He outstroked him everywhere. Head, body, and legs in the first round. Yeah. And like you said, I mean, I had Padilla by decision. I put $20 on Padilla by decision. It got pushed.
Just I took him live betting too. I took him live betting,
it didn't settle until it didn't settle at all. I just but my parlays got voided out. So I don't know. Like you said, it should be investigated because, man,
some fucking bullshit.
This is probably that type of card. I mean, you got this type of fight. You know, you got 1 point taken away. You got clearly
a fight that you lost. You had a point taken away in a fight that you lost. Like, what do you fucking mean this is a draw?
I know. Crazy. Yeah, they gave that 2 of the judges. One judge had it right. You know, he had it 29-27, I think it was. 28-27. And the other 2 had it 28-28. Regardless, you know, it
was 29-27.
How do you go from announcing a fight that 2 judges had it 28-28? How do you announce a guy that's a winner and then go back and a fight later go announce that he's? I mean, this is back. When did this happen? 2 weeks ago as well.
Yeah, they overturned another decision. They've had like in the moment decisions about a fight being called a knockout, but then got to be ensued, and another fight being called a knockout, but then not getting to. You know what I mean? So they've been inconsistent with fight finishing and fight scenario based things that it fucks it up. It's fucked up.
What was your bet? Did you have any bets in any heavy money going Padilla?
Yeah, I had Chris in like several parlays. The one with Tatiana, the one with Radke. Those were some of my earlier locks that I felt very comfortable weaving parlays with, and then I took him straight up. And then I had a sprinkle on his finish as well. And I think I had a finish parlay where because he was plus 300. Taco was plus 300 by finish. So I had that like on another finish parlay that had a bunch of plus 500s, 2-3-leggers, you know, things that hit like 20x or 50x, something like that.
Well, he was plus money on the decision as well.
Yeah, no, it was good. I just kind of trust the chaos that he has, and so I've been doing pretty good with Taco by finish as well. Like he gets them done. He pays out over time for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had him straight up, and that's the one that got voided. That
I know.
Hit my account. They took it out of my account. It just was like, what do you mean?
That's crazy. Hey, but now I missed this opportunity right here with Kelvin Gastelum and Vicente Luque. I took Gastelum by KO round 1.
I had one parlay that had Gaslam in it, money line. I didn't believe in Luque to do the submission prop, but normally anytime I bet Vincent, I bet him via submission because I don't believe in anything else at this point.
I mean, that's the right bet to go with. If
Yeah,
Vicente
he's just
Luque's
the
on the
guy
card.
that you're going to get a huge prop like a plus 800, 700 submission prop. So you
It's best to
you
take it.
you do that, but then maybe weave Kelvin into some parlays and fucking, you know what I mean? If that's the person you confidently thought would win, or else, and that's also going to get you back, pay back the investment, a little ROI. I like those little
Yeah.
bets where you can suicide it both ways and make money regardless. So that's just, yeah, good for him. My boy Alvarez nearly got to keep his finish streak, so that part made me sad.
That's crazy, man. How did he not finish Vicente Luque?
Yeah, I think he started kind of feeling his own fatigue. I mean, it's not that he wasn't sending it too, but man, he was breaking down and throwing and connecting, you know. It's not like he's not snapping his own arms and shins and legs out, and them
Yeah.
boys are cracking hard throughout that fight. And yeah, Luque's got good kicks too. So anyways, yeah,
And a good
Alvarez
chin, too.
coming up in weight too, you know, fulfilling that extra 15 pounds. Yeah, I
Man, I
figured
was
he'd
so
lose
big.
his finishing streak at 170. I just didn't think it would be against Luque.
True that, yeah.
You know, if
I had
Shavkat and other killers are, then Alvarez will too.
I was big on Francisco Prado going into this fight. I thought he was gonna get it.
Yeah.
I really thought that Francisco Prado was gonna get the finish on this one, or at least beat Radke. I know a lot of people. You
So
had Radke. MMA now had Prado. A bunch of people had Radke though.
who did I have?
You had Radke.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. I fucking had Radke, damn it. I had him in a lot of parlays. I was very confident Radke winning this fight. But I can respect where you expect the chaos with the hands early, because Prado does do that, but that's where I respect Radke being able to level change and win the fight on the ground. If he got smoked on the upstairs, it just did Prado connect with a shot that he couldn't recover from. And we
Yeah.
damn near saw that. So you having your boy Prado, you respecting the chaos, you knew that he'd come out and likely hit that early knockout. Walk me through that moment when he fucking rocked Radke right out the gates.
Man. Damn. Man. Nah,
Yeah.
man.
You
I
you
was
were so live in that moment. You were like, I fucking told y'all. This is exactly how I predicted this, right?
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked real bad for a second. So yeah, no, that's why I respect the pick for anyone who had Prado this week, one of the sharp cats. I have the pleasure of doing business with our boy Pro Schmo Bets. He also is a Prado cat and he's pretty sharp too. So but I
I
just
mean,
had something about Radke.
I
Yeah.
saw Prado winning the first previous fight, in my opinion, of course. That
Yeah.
previous fight
Yeah.
with who was it against? Varenikov.
Yeah. Yeah, he got fucked.
But dude, I pick apart this fight right here with Francisco Prado and Raki, and I left out Raki against Prates because Prates finished him, and I
Yeah.
left those out, and I just focused
Recky's
on
only really lost to gangsters though, and that's why people shit on him. Like
exactly.
they just think he's this up and coming Nico Price of the division. It's like my boy is losing to very competitive, active top guys. He
Yeah,
didn't quite pass the test. Does that mean that he's not going to pass another up and comer who's just like himself? These are two
I
guys
became a
trying to
fan.
figure out where they land, and I just respect that. From what we've seen, Radke at a top level can execute a game plan, and he did great.
He did awesome, man. I mean, I became a fan. His
Yeah,
fighting style is super cool. I
yeah.
like it, and I'm excited for him the next fight because I know he'll get a little bit tougher opponent, maybe somebody his size, and I think he can make it. He can make it work.
I want to get someone who's going to have as good of grappling a little bit as well, able to shut down the easy road to escape if something ain't going right on the feet. You know, like I respect his ability to still land takedowns and hunt and fish for submissions and work off the back and get his hooks in. He does a great job with that. He's got a great guillotine that he set up there as well. But yeah,
And he
I just want
works
to see somebody who's going to not allow him the easy road for plan B when it gets scrappy in exchange. I want somebody who can shove that shit off and send it back at Radke's. So I want him to take a big test in this next fight. And
Yeah, I mean, he
and
works
show me that
pretty
he's a top
good
guy.
at bottom position as well.
Exactly. He's active as fuck with those elbows.
Yes, he is.
Pinging the shit out of that Buzz Lightyear looking motherfucker right there, Prado.
Yeah, he did. Look at that.
He's slapping the fucking shit out of that boy with them elbows. So
Yeah. Hey, man.
ping, ping, fucking pulling guards, slicing them shits down. That's why I fuck with Radke. All them killers over there. Ignacio. Obviously respect to Mohammed. All those guys out of Chicago, they're about it. The Midwest cats don't fuck around, son. They're about it.
Rain them elbows. Rain them elbows. Man, he was.
Yeah, you did great. It was a good fight for him.
It was. But I don't know. Francisco Prado doesn't look like a natural welterweight, in my opinion. He's got small arms.
Yeah.
Everybody that you look into the welterweight division is gonna outreach him. You know what I mean? He's taller. He was taller than Radke, but his arms.
He's kind of like Bruno Ferreira's little cousin over in Argentina, right? So.
Well, Bruno is in Brazil, but.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm saying this is his cousin. Like, he's the small ass little dude of the division that's going to have to go up against much bigger guys typically. And that's where Radke is also his weakness. He isn't the biggest of guys either. So this actually was a pretty good matchup in terms of like size and strength and genetics and all those things, but not in like grappling, not in technical capabilities on the ground.
Did you open up the card with a decision? What did you open up? Just straight up?
Yeah, I had Radke money line in a lot of cases, and then we had a sprinkle for him by a finish because I respect the scrap getting crazy and a submission or a knockout happening. So nothing too crazy with him by finish, just because I knew that he also had to get a win back, so he could be ahead on the scorecards with the grappling and just kind of grinding out minutes, grinding out moments to go to a finish. So, or go to the scorecard. So I at least respected that one a lot and just had Radke money line a lot. A lot of different plays there.
Well, you can match him up with Varenikov next, right? Maybe somebody just outside the rankings. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to get the rankings up in front of me and think about it some. Radke's also kind of he's one of those guys that's grabbing the microphone and having moments too. So I want someone who's going to bring something crazy in their own right to do something back, to have some hype, fight synergy, 2 killers, 2 finishers. Someone, like I said, with that grappling prowess just as much as the striking capabilities. Match him up with another clone, not just a striker. I don't want him to fight just another striker next.
Yeah. I mean, but the UFC seems to like the guy, so
that's a good thing. It's again, because when you're in the treehouse that Donald Trump and Dana White and Turkey all share, and Zuckerberg and all them fuckers, when you're part of that treehouse and you're part of the cool kids club, like, all's good, dude. You're gonna fight on some cool cards. You're gonna travel. You're gonna have a good time. You're gonna make good money. You're gonna be around. They're not gonna cut you. So Lewis, Radke, they're all part of that. You know, Dacus, Nickel. You see where I'm going with this shit? Covington, even though he's like back of the bus now, they're about to kick his ass out of it, make room for someone else, suck their dick.
They already did. I feel like they did already, man.
I mean, yeah. Another seat on the bus opened up. Bryce, he jumped out of the bus himself. He went through the window, called him a bunch of child fucking rapists, and that Christ is gonna come burn him alive, and jumped out the fucking bus. Anyways,
dude, next week or this weekend we got UFC Fight Night. Burns and Mallet. Mike Malott, or is he French? He's French, right?
Yeah, it's Malott. Yeah, no, Mike, he's a Canadian. He's a fucking he's a brute, man. He's a little tank. He trains over Niagara Top Team. Those guys come down Florida a lot, train. Mike's scrappy. Obviously, he had like one of the worst types of ways you could lose a fight to a big friend and fan of the channel as well. Neil Magny, one of my Mud Hut warriors. Shout out Neil Magny. But I take him in second and third round finishes a lot because he counters back. He's gonna watch these guys outgas themselves trying so hard as he stuffs and counters and hurts and breaks people back. And that paid me a fuck ton. Let's just say that. And we were taking live odds right as it all ensued, and he started coming back, and I knew Mike was gassed. Live odds hadn't quite updated quite yet. We've done that a few times with them. But anyways, I like Mike as kind of his old ways when he was taking more risk and hitting that gas pedal and throwing bombs and scooping and getting the fight on the ground and just being a savage. He obviously took that loss, came back, was really hesitant, was barely getting out enough to edge a decision, admitted afterwards. He apologized even, like, yeah, sorry guys, I had to just come out and get that one off the list for me. You know, I had to secure a win. Sorry it wasn't exciting. Came back his next performance, had that spectacular knockout moment. So I'm happy to see him come off some synergy there where he's not going into it like he was the fight prior to that again, where he's going to play it like Reyes and Walker and not take those risks, because I like Mike when he takes those risks. And I think against someone like Burns, that's probably a smart thing to consider doing, because Burns is going to take risks too. And if you're just too much in a shell and being too defensive and you don't respect what's coming your way with Burns and allow him to kind of sink and rip into you in those early rounds when he's fresh, that's a very dangerous place to be. And I know it hasn't aged the best since his fight with Hamzat, but Burns was one of those guys that he was kind of one of those fraud checkers of the division, where if you had a guy that was good with grappling, or how good was his striking, how good can he eat a punch, how well can he defend the choke, because Burns was going to test both of those things as one fighter very fucking well. And so it's one of those things where I'd totally be happy to see Burns win in that regard. He kind of needs this one, I think, or else he knows that at this point he's not really fighting so much to further that legacy, but just to do it for him, further those fights, those octagon minutes, maybe sneak out a couple more wins. But you know what I mean? I can't see Burns continuing to show up and just get showed out. So I really think this is an important fight for him, or else we could see those last few fights maybe considered. Whereas to Mike, this would be a beautiful torch to pass from another bruiser with some grappling, great jiu-jitsu, has great power in his hands, as well as he can obviously choke some people out. So give me Burns as far as being, you know, the better jiu-jitsu. Give me Mike on the youth, the striking, the big upset moments that set up a finish maybe. As for now, I'm going with Mike. I think 5 minutes is too tough for these guys not to have a finish. I think we'll get a finish here. So we'll look at the submission and knockout props. But if they grinded it out, then it's because we saw that very hesitant, very secure Mike return once again and do anything just to secure W. So yeah. I can respect it going both ways. Just my predictions to finish, just because I don't think Burns is going to be on the brakes either to a degree.
Yeah, in my opinion, the book is probably going to lean towards the finish. But if I can see something live here, it's definitely that sub on Burns' way. And then early KO, second round for Mike.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking at the early round 1 and 2 KO props on both sides, and probably just look at submission as an outright like method bet. Fight to end by submission, fight to end by knockouts. Pinning the props might be parlay weaves. Generally, the safe me used to say,
sub
okay,
on both sides, right?
Yeah, yep, sub on both sides. The safe me used to be like, well, fight to end by finish is respecting the knockout or submission, because you can't guarantee it's going to be one or the other. So then I'd look at rounds and be like, all right, under 4.5. And then certain fights I would say, okay, I can shave off round 4 and say fight to end in the first 3 rounds and make a bit more money, right? So I think this is one of those fights. I'm going to respect 4.5 minutes and not a marker at 2.5 minutes, because these guys can totally grind into a third or fourth round where someone is gassing, someone is hurt, and simply put, someone is losing a very technical exchange on the ground, one of those moments, and we're getting a choke. So this fight via submission is very live, but give me under 4.5 to just be extra safe this week. And we'll play and throw up some methods and some locks this week. last week was not the best of weeks for the Toad. So this week we're going to come up with just a few locks, keep it short and simple, and not expect a fight that the whole world says is going to end by a finish, not to end by a finish. So again, I think the main event's live to go to the judges, but if I have good value at under 4.5, that's my play. But anyways,
That's
man,
the value right there, right?
yeah, no, for sure. I just also want to give a big shout out to Clutch. Well, it's been an honor, man. He hops on with me and gets right into talking. I'm like, so you want me to call you Clutch? You want to call you Will? Like, he's like, oh yeah, man, I totally forgot. Like, I just watched the Toad. You don't even know nothing about me quite yet. So we had a quick laugh and catch up. And no, dude, I love that you're another very passionate analyst in the game, a fight fan. You're going to have your predictions, your breakdowns, your thoughts, put those little sprinkles out there to have some fun for sure. But in a community where there's a bunch of goofiness, toxicity, and people who have true passion, I'm happy you're one of the real ones out here. So appreciate you having me on, dude. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much. Let's end it here, man. I think I really am looking forward to another collaboration with you in
Yeah.
your channel, in this one, wherever, man. I'm happy that you came on to mine first, and I appreciate you a lot, brother.
Yeah,
Hey,
no.
good luck next card, bro. I think I'm gonna go with you on most of my bets from now on. 'Cause
Hey, the moment people start playing that, I all of a sudden I don't have the sharpest of weeks where some of my methods and fight by finish props, go the way we
dude,
expect. But
if there's
that's where I
anybody that
kind of
has
say,
made,
you guys could have a fighter like, oh man, but Ulberg won and not Jiri, so then I lost money. I still made money on that fight. Not as much as I expected to, right? I had definitely Jiri winning those first few rounds via knockout as far as my primary, but when the offset was plus 600, plus 1200, you could put some value there to give you some kickbacks at least. So you're still getting fucked, but you're not getting bent over the table, if you know what I mean. So Ulberg, first round knockout. I hit a little short of $200 off that bet for me for what I put into it. Nothing too spectacular, but it's something that I get to have on this next card. And I'll give you guys some locks later in the week. So check MMA Toad on IG is
check it
where I'm
out.
going to be most
Follow
active.
MMA Toad.
But I appreciate you having me on, and I don't really care where, but if you guys want to check out my live fight analysis to some of the fight cards if I'm ever streaming or doing my prediction content, MMA Toad, YouTube. I got a Kick, Twitch, fucking MySpace, whatever you guys want to catch me on. All right. So appreciate y'all.
It's been an honor, man. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Have a good one. All right.
Thanks,
Good
bro.
night. Take
Yep.
care, brother.
Peace. Much love.